and for arranging this beautiful spread from Kitchen 18. Thank you so much. This is really above and beyond. And
Thank you.
That's just a tip off the iceberg. The real thank you goes to the enormous generosity that both of you have shown towards the building of the new synagogue and Jewish Community Center in Flagstaff, with helping secure the amazing grant from the Mali Blank Fund. So thank you so much for making that happen. Who's an amazing partner and co-director of Chabad at NAU, who I honestly could not do without. We have a beautiful family and running the family and Chabad and community and relationship will never be able to happen without Chaya. So thank you, Chaya. I also would like to give a special mention to my brother-in-law, Rabbi Shmulik and Yael. Back there is holding baby Mendel, and here's Yael. For coming down, of course, from Flagstaff, but not just that, for moving to Flagstaff and helping Chabad take off the ground even more successful than it's been until now. And for those who have been around the Shabbat and the activity just this morning, we had an activity at Home Depot in Flagstaff, the first time ever, a new event, we never did it. Preparing for Hanukkah, there were over 35 children, plus 30 adults, in addition to that were making menorahs in Home Depot this morning. Thanks to Shmulik and Yael. He made an appointment with the secretaries in Chabad. Sometimes it took a very long time. Back in those days, it was easier to get an audience with the Rebbe. And he comes to 770 for the day. It was an evening time. It was the time that he was going to meet the Rebbe. So he comes there, and it's his turn to come meet the Rebbe. And he's waiting his turn, and he sees lots of people from all walks of life waiting. And he tells over, this is an interview that he had in 2013 when he told over the story. So it was documented. And he shared over that he almost fainted. And he couldn't imagine how could it be that the Rebbe, all these years later, knew exactly who he was, remembered him. Not because the Rebbe knew who he was going to see. When the Rebbe saw his face, the Rebbe recognized him before he recognized the Rebbe. Later on, he found out how did it come to be. How was it that the Rebbe was taking care of him? All these children in Marseille. What was the Rebbe even doing in Marseille? Because him and his wife, Rebbe Tzimmushka, were at that time they were in Nice. They were trying to get visas in order to be able to come to America. So the Rebbe was traveling between Marseille and Nice, making different arrangements. And he must have heard about the fact that there was this orphanage over there, and therefore he went to make sure that the children were taken care of. He said, take care of someone's physical life, whatever they need physically and spiritually. That's the first thing in Judaism. And I want to add that we would not be able to do what we're doing if not for every single one of you. We thought when we're moving to Flagstaff that we're going to come to inspire the community. But really the community has inspired us, because when we see so many individuals stepping up and supporting so generously and giving, it's something that we can never thank you enough for everything that you do. And so many of you were sharing with me lately, some of you here and some of you who couldn't be here tonight, that during this process of the building campaign and going above and beyond and stretching ourselves, that you have seen blessings in your own lives beyond that you ever imagined. And it's something that actually, this is something that we know from the Talmud. The Talmud says, and I always share this because it's a beautiful teaching, Hashem says, don't test me in any mitzvah. Don't test me, meaning when it comes to doing a mitzvah, God says, don't say, I'm going to be good to someone else and I want to see good in return. God says, don't say I'm going to keep kosher and I want to see that I'm healthy. God says, don't say I'm going to keep Shabbat and then I want to get a job. God says, don't test me, I have my reasons, my times, and how everything works. But Hashem says in the Talmud, test me in one mitzvah. In charity, when it comes to charity and giving tzedakah from one's own hard-earned money, Hashem says, test me in this mitzvah because you're going to see so much more in return. Hashem says, test me because the reason is not because we want to test God, not because we want something in return. It's just that when we give and we recognize that when we give, we're going to get so much in return, it means that we recognize that what we have is really a gift to us from Hashem. It's not just because we worked hard, but it's beyond that. And therefore, what we all know is that when it comes to giving, really life is about giving. Life is about making sure that we help other people grow. Life is about making sure that when someone else needs something that we're there for them. And again, there's really no words to appropriately thank every single one of you here tonight, and just to go around and thanking everyone individually. That's something that will be done at the grand opening of the building. Before that, we're going to have the groundbreaking. But just tonight, we wanted just each and every one of you to be here to just show our appreciation for everything that you've done and involve you a little bit in the process. And we have Jim here tonight, and after my talk, he is going to be sharing what we've accomplished and where we are today, connections that have been formed because of the building, and the partnerships that have been formed, and the sense of family that's been fostered. And this is something that never would have happened without the building. And I can only say that this is really the beginning, because there's so much more to come, and we're looking forward together as a community, growing together with all of you. So thank you again for making this all happen so that we could be here tonight and celebrate. And again, soon we'll celebrate with the groundbreaking, which we're hoping at the end of March. We don't have an exact date yet. It depends on a few things. And then eventually, soon after that, takes about a year to build the building, the grand opening, which is going to be even more exciting. But one step at a time, I want to introduce Jim at this time. Jim is, I feel like saying a good friend at this point. Even though I didn't know Jim before it came to the building campaign, we searched far and wide for a good architect. I can tell you that. We interviewed many people for the job. It was a hard and long process, and eventually we had the opportunity of meeting Jim. Jim is out of San Antonio, Texas now with the Beck Group. Has done tremendous projects. We love the work that he did. He's going to share with you some of the work that he's done tonight. But it was really right away it felt that he had a listening ear. He intuitively understood what we wanted. And more importantly, when you're going through this process, many times, like after a few months, you actually regret your decision. It happens in many things in life, and it could have been the same way with our architect, where we were like, oh, no, what did you do? Why did we sign the contracts? But I can tell you that the process has just been amazing. Every time we work with Jim, we're just more and more thrilled, we're more and more happy. He's just so knowledgeable, professional. He brings the best of the project, and I don't think we could have found a better architect who would be so invested in this project. If you would know how long Jim worked just for this presentation here tonight to make sure that it's the best. This is a busy time of the year for everyone, flying from San Antonio, leaving his family to be here. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for coming, and I hope you could all get a taste of what the process is like when you're putting together such a magnificent building like this. So, without further ado, Jim. Thank you.
And it was, yet again, it was really magical how this came together and how it really was important, the deeper meaning of what this place is. It's not just a building, it's the community, it's the people that inhabit it, and it's the people that really take shape in that building. That's good. Good stuff.
Looks like it's built already.
From what they have done for Flagstaff, for the larger Arizona community, because I mean, just on a very personal level, they really have changed my life, my family's life. I'm completely emotional when talking about this. I know that Adrian, our girl's father, feels the same way as just my husband David. They're like a force of nature. It is amazing. The intensity, the energy, the passion, the kindness, just everything that they are, and how infectious it is for all of us. And I just want to say thank you. And I also want to say thank you that they're such, they're so good at talking people into things. They talked Shmulik and Yael to take me to spend time with you. I just feel happy. So glad you're here. Your enthusiasm, I feel like it's like you've completed, in a way, kind of what this is meant to be, and we're so grateful. And it's such a huge sacrifice. We know that you want to be here, but it is a sacrifice, so we're really grateful. And already, they're getting the C-Team program going, so completely selfishly for our teenage daughters, it's a great thing. And hoping that our younger daughter Zoe will go to the C-Team Chabaton in New York City, which would be a huge deal for a girl raised in Flagstaff, to see that there are actually more than 10 or 20 Jews who live. So great! So I'm very excited about that, and I want to thank Mike and Carmen, because it's really, we have the force of nature here, and we have Jim and his team who's going to translate this vision and this mission, but it's like Mike and Carmen are like the bridge in the Blank Foundation that is going to get us to take that vision and take that translation and make it a reality. And it's just huge. And they've inspired us to all, as Bert would say, give till it hurts. And so I just want to thank them. An obstacle. You don't stop or go around. You go over the top. It means reaching beyond your comfort level for a higher purpose. And it says many Jewish groups spend much time in planning and evaluating before embarking on a new project. Shluchim are not burdened by committees or creating a broad communal consensus. They tend to act swiftly, seizing the initiative at time, taking financial risks as necessary. The rabbi said that the approach of a Chak, Hula, or a Burr should be based on what is realistic. Push the edge of the envelope, but be responsible. Do not put the organization at financial risk. I think we've been in very good hands. And we've seen all of that tonight. So finally, to succeed, the Shliach must build his organization while finding local supporters who not only share the vision, but are willing to support the vision. The Rebbe sent you to a community. If you are offering meaningful programs, the community will support you. If they don't find what you're providing is something of value, you might as well pack your bags. For most Shluchim, fundraising is the toughest part of the job and creates the greatest angst. Rabbi Manis Friedman says, fundraising is the most difficult part of being a shliach, and we are not trained to do it, something completely out of our experience. The entrepreneurial model demands that a shliach push himself to uncover prospective donors, then convince them of the importance of the mission and earn their support. And I just want to say that you have really earned our support, and I could not be more excited for the new center and to continue giving our support. And I really just want to thank everybody here, most of whom I would never have known if it wasn't for Rabbi and Kaya, and I wouldn't have all these amazing Jewish connections. I've lived in Philadelphia, I've lived in Tucson, places with much bigger Jewish communities, but I feel a much stronger sense of Jewish community in little Flagstaff, Arizona. So thank you.
Some change in our country and in the world is a good thing, and it's going to be exciting, and we should all just really embrace it, embrace that chaos, make it good. Now, with that little introduction, I'm going to tell everybody that I'm speaking for Rhoda and me. Not that first part. Because the two of us have been married for 58 years. And I think that makes a certain bond between not just us and our personalities and that sort of thing, but our brains and our minds, so that when I needed something written for today to speak, I got the best ghostwriter you could ever have. Rhoda really helped me with all of this and probably did more of it than I did, so I want to make sure that she gets that credit for it. Sure. We love the religion, we love the food, we love the camaraderie, the many Jewish contributions to society. We love the kibbutzing, country of Israel, Jewish institutions and organizations, and especially Chabad. As children and all through our school when we were raising a family and all through that period, living our lives, our Judaism was always important.
I don't use it too.
That's a word. Our Judaism was always important to us. Now, at this later stage in our lives, suddenly it has a deeper and more meaningful feeling. This we credit to Rabbi Dovi and Chaya. Their arrival in Flagstaff has just been spectacular for our whole community. They brought a whole new quality to our lives. They made Judaism so much more meaningful. Every time we attend something at Chabad, be it a service, a Shabbat dinner, a holiday party, a class, whatever the function is, we come away with some new piece of information, some new learning. Our community is also blessed with Rabbi and Cantor Shmulik and his wife Yael. They have come with me. They both, now I have to say three, because both doesn't fit them anymore, they got three. But the adults in them both have come with new enthusiasm and new ideas. The monthly beginner Shabbat service is a big hit. The future looks brighter all the time. With the generous help of Carmen and Michael Blank, the grant from the Blank Foundation, and the drive of our whole community coming together to reach our $1 million goal, our dreams of a building will really happen. Those of us gathered here have all helped in some way, but now we must remember that we need more helping. There will be new and bigger expenses, as you've heard. There will be more seats to fill at every event, and we've come so very far, but we can never stop reaching for higher goals. There will be new students every year, new Jewish families coming to town, more young children for religious education and camp, and more people who are already here who will be able to enjoy their Judaism through what Rabbi Dovi and Chaya started. We both love, both Rhoda and I, what has happened for our Jewish lives in Flagstaff. So let's keep this going and growing from all of us and all the rest of the community.
To talk to you. Oi! Of course, you can come talk to me. I said, it's good to see you again, Rabbi. He said, I've never been here before. He said, well, I said just last year, there were two people who looked just like you that came to my door and they put the tefillin on me. And that is how our conversation began. Almost 10 years ago. Is that right?
Yep.
Almost 10 years. I wasn't looking to become more Jewish. Really, in my mind, I thought I was Jewish enough. And just like many of you here, it actually kind of boggles my mind. Like many of us here. In all our honesty, we used to see the Hasidic Jews, we go, wait, a little bit, remiss, how do they do all this crazy stuff? And it never thought once in my life that me and them would be like this. And at this stage in my life, and I just turned 70 years old, that this experience, 10 years with Chabad, is unquestionably the best and the most important time of my entire life. And I can't thank you guys enough for being here, to literally making an amazing life that I already had into one that's so much greater. Beyond anything I could have imagined. And every time I study and every time we connect, it's a blessing. The best knock-knock I ever had on my door. By far. After a few years, he said, why don't you come to New York City, where all the shlushim come from all over the world and gather, 4,000 of them, and you can be part of this big party. I thought for about a half a second. I said, sounds like a good idea to me. It's so crazy to think this. You know, this guy from Westchester County, just north of New York City. I went to a nice Reformed synagogue. Everything was very neat. Here I'm about to go to Crown Heights. Big beards. I just want you to know, you guys, I'm growing out my beard. 3 years ago, I started wearing yarmulke. This year I'm growing out my beard. It's a slow, incremental movement.
You got the black pants.
Nobody's gonna say it.
What black wig?
I said today, so honey, what's with the beard?
That's what's with the beard. So we go, and it's a wonderful thing, and we're walking through Crown Heights, and everybody's wearing a yarmulke there. You don't feel out of place in Crown Heights when we're wearing a yarmulke. Like in Flagstaff, you do. What it's called, I don't know, but it's a gathering of 4,000 in this amazing banquet hall. It's phenomenal. The joy is just, you can jump on it, and it's like a trampoline. It's amazing. Aaron, it's just phenomenal. And then we eat our dinner, and then it's time for speakers, and a speaker gets up. And he says, I don't know anything what he said, except for one part that he said this. He said, and remember, he was exhorting us. He said, and give. He's talking about tzedakah. He says, and give till it hurts. I never gave till it hurt. I winced maybe a few times, but it never hurt, right? And I didn't exactly know what it meant. And as I talk a little bit more today, I want you to tell you that even now, within the past month or so, I know even more about what that means and why he said that and where it came from. But I knew at that time it was time for me to give till it hurts. And I'm a counselor. I do some stuff. Oh, let me back up. I want to back up 1 second.
L'chaim.
Part of what I said. Hold on 1 second.
L'chaim.
Where's my computer with my talk on it? Right? I want to say this. Part of what I do in my life is I'm a speaker. I go out and talk and present to groups. And as I was coming here today, and as I was planning for this gathering, and I knew the import and what it means to our Jewish community, I know for sure that this is the most important talk I've ever given in my life. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
So he said, give till it hurts. So I don't know exactly why, but you don't know why things happen. There's some magic in the air. And I don't know the details, and when I start writing the checks, they were a little bit crazy. But I started to write $1,000 a month, to give to Rabbi Gobi, and then the building fund came on, and then I said, okay, I'll give you $25,000, and then I started giving another $25,000. Maybe another $50,000. I don't know, right? But I will say this.
Do we hear 150?
I know. Before it's all over, yes. This is giving till it hurts. So,
Wait. L'chaim.
Hashtag giving.
So, I thought I knew what that meant, and it hit me like it never. Now I will say this, and this is phenomenal. Just like Rabbi said earlier, there aren't many guarantees, but there's a guarantee that Hashem said, when you give, right away you feel the difference. Well, you have to go through so much pain and wince, to hurt, to get to the other side. But that's the way God plans it. It's not supposed to be so easy, to feel so good. We have never felt, Wendy over here, And I should go back again. I couldn't be doing this without you and you smiling every time we write a check. To coming to Flagstaff, this western town, just changed so many lives. And I did think it's a real, because people, I think everybody here would say, I didn't think I would have given that much money 3 years ago. Something happened. Something has happened. Something is happening. And something will continue to happen. And somehow, the hurting is a little bit different right now. So, at the end of the evening, or at some point pretty soon, the rabbi, you're going to get this book. Samarkand. That's good enough, Samarkand. And this actually inspired me at a whole other level and taught me even more what it means to give till it hurts. Okay? And this is a book about Judaism in Russia during the communist era. When if the KGB knew about your Judaism, you went to prison. Your kids could not go to their yeshiva. They had to go to public school. And in going to public school, they have to go on Saturday. On Saturday, they would have to write. And this book talks about what it means to really hurt. And what sacrifice really is. There are two kinds of difficult times in life. And that is this time, with so much oppression, you can't do it. And then the other time, and the Rebbe talks about this, is when we have so much, we have so much freedom, we have so much that we forget to thank God. Because we think maybe we did it all by ourselves. And that's the time that we're in. But I learned something even more, and I want you to read it. And what I found out, I just talked to Yossi Winter on the way down here, one of the helpers of Chabad. What's that?
Lowenbein.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Lowenbein, right? And he said to me, and I said, we need to give this book to everybody. To understand what it means to hurt. We don't know. But I thought hurting was writing a check. Not even close. Not even remotely close. So I want to read you just part of one story. I want you to read. I've been reading this every day. And when the rabbi came in to me the other day, and he said, Bert, we're going to start this big end of the year matching campaign. I don't have all the matching donors. I've been just reading this book. I said, okay, I'll give you another $5,000. Because I understand. And then when I wrote him a check, I made it for $6,000. Because when I really, in comparison to what hurt is, people actually kept the flame of Judaism alive. I don't know hurt. Our Mendel had undergone grueling torture without revealing a single word to his captors. Finally, he was brought to trial and sentenced to death, just for being Jewish, by the way, and for teaching Judaism. When it comes right down to it, in the end, it's our soul that matters. That's the essence. Because the heart's going to stop, but the soul will live on. It will be connected to generations. The more we acknowledge our soul and live our soul. I'm blessed to have Rabbi Dovi as one of my best friends in my entire life, and we talk regularly, once a week. And he tells me, he confides in me, we didn't have this conversation. He doesn't know I'm about to say this. And he said, Bert, and we've been doing this for a while, it's the end of the year. We haven't been able to pay the credit card bill for the last month. Whatever it is, $19,000. But we've got the fund campaign coming up. And we hope, God willing, we'll be able to make $80,000 and we'll be able to make it happen. And I thought to myself, with this opportunity to speak to me today, and this is why this is the most important talk of my life, I don't want this to go on. I simply don't want it to go on. I don't want the people who are taking care of our souls, who have changed our lives, and touched us, and touched our children, and we even wonder, why the hell are we even here? But we still give. Mark said to me, in just a little moment just before this, he said, I'm making up for all my years of not being so Jewish. But again, something happened. And I want to exhort, just like the fellow who got me to give. And I know that everybody else has been generous. But I want you to read the book, and I want you to look inside. I want you to understand even more what it means to give to hurt. And what that means for you as a person, what it means to your children, what it means to the community, what it means to Judaism. And I promise you, and I don't have to because Hashem already did, there will never be anything that we can do that will be as meaningful as giving till it truly hurts. In this room, we'll always have enough. And in this room, most of us will always have more than enough. And I don't want, ever again, the rabbis and the Rebbitzins to have to be thinking about a credit card bill. I don't want it to happen. And we are the ones, the community are the ones, who with our own generosity can change that. And they can pay attention to even more things to do in this community. So, there's magic, and I do think this whole experience with Chabad has been magic for me. Inexplicable things happen. We raised $1 million in 6 months. Everybody I talked to said, I don't think so. It would have to be a miracle. I said, absolutely right. It would have to be a miracle. So here we sit. We came down here. Mike? Carmen? Really, hey Mike? Thanks, I like looking at you. And I know you've been thanked a lot. And I know that every time you get thanked, I don't know what you do with it. I really don't know where it goes inside of you. I want it to go to your heart and your soul, because we can never thank you enough. But I do want it to reach inside of you so you can feel it all the time. The appreciation from this community. You could never get enough. And really, for the rabbis and the Rebbitzins who have changed our lives and have sacrificed, we want to make that less of a sacrifice. We want that to hurt less for them and hurt more for us. So we want to have heaven. So on this day of appreciation, for all of us who have given more than we thought we would in the past, I know it's a stretch. Wait, more. 1,000% more. It'll be the biggest blessing that you could ever do in your life. Thank you.
Mazel, mazel, mazel.
Trio, come on.